everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge Podcast. My name's Josh. Thanks for joining me for part 3 of the Kendra Hilty crazy. I fell in love with my psychiatrist, but he still kept me on drama. Oh my gosh, I did not expect to go down this wormhole. And so I'm very much sat, and we are very much going to go through the last part of this. So let's get to it. Happy Saturday. Yes, Saturday videos do exist sometimes on this channel, and this was one of the cases. So we're at now part 15 of the story, and up to this point, this is what we've heard. She fell in love with the psychiatrist the moment she saw him, because he's a handsome fella, okay? And she eventually told him she had a crush on him, so that must mean he's a predator. That's the gist of it. She has said a whole bunch of other shit, but the gist of it is that he didn't reciprocate, but he was a predator because he was using her content that she was giving him for his own smashing mermaids, as she would say. Okay? And up to this point, she's like, he needed to fire. And I almost agree with her now, if the timeline, and it is long, it's like 3 years. At this point, this dude has got to let this lady go. Okay? Because she is crazy. But he has never once crossed an ethical boundary. He has never once been a predator where he's asked her for things where he is not appropriate to ask her for, things like nudes or anything like that. Anytime she's ever brought up the side that she likes him, he's just been neutral about it. He has not said a word on it until the moment she said, we have a special relationship that's patient-doctor. He's like, no, we have a professional relationship. And she was so mad about that, to the point where she is literally going to, I have, and with all confidence, believe that this woman is going to be sued into oblivion. She quit her job to become a coach. Okay? It is the craziest story. This is why it's so viral right now. And I am sat. Let's keep going. Let's heal back, because she's yet to prove any like smoking gun that he had done anything inappropriate. And so this, I know it's all believe all women, the world we're in, and I have a daughter, and I'm like, yeah, if my daughter ever came to me with an allegation, I'm going to believe her, okay? But this shit is crazy. It's like, it's a conversation about the overall nature of like the dating scene and crazy weirdos. It's so good. It has everything. Okay, so let's get into it.
It's time to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is the racial difference between...
That is that this eye is lower than this one.
Me and my doctor.
Oh, yeah,
I have seen a lot of black women on this app with the same take, and I need to say that black women are the most important people on the planet to me.
That's virtue signaling. Like, in a nutshell. That right there is virtue signaling, because she doesn't want to be canceled for even being remotely tied to racism in whatever way.
And that I have learned so much from black women about how to be a better person and how to show up better in the world.
Like, who did she offend to have to say that? Oh my gosh.
Are the culture, and I am so grateful for them. Many black women are seeing my...
This guy's not black. What does this have to do? He's Pakistani, apparently.
Story through the lens that I am a white woman who is taking advantage of my whiteness to wield power over my POC psychiatrist. That
no one ever thought that, and if you did, you are a crazy victim, like professional crazy victim person. Nobody thought that at all. We just thought you were effing crazy. There is no reason to have done this. Zero reason to have done this. Holy shit, the internet's weird.
Didn't want me back, and so I am trying to get him fired. And that's okay.
That's what you are trying to do, but not, I don't think it's because of racial differences. What? What? She must have been getting so many comments about that. Like, that's bullshit. That's stupid. You're just crazy. That's all there is. That's the easiest way to explain this.
I understand why you see it through that lens. I do. As a white person, I do my best to examine my racism every single day.
No, you don't. Okay, hope this helps.
And I will tell you that my psychiatrist boss is his best friend, who is also a POC male. And
okay, what the hell does this have to do with you being a crazy bitch be cray?
And in that room, I did have white privilege, and he was also my doctor. And he took...
You did? Because if you had white privilege, I mean, you would have got what you wanted. You didn't get what you wanted. What about the patriarchy here? It's male privilege. Which privilege overrides other privileges? And holy shit, where are we in the world right now? Everybody's got their victim card and they're like, well, is mine worth more than yours? Like trading fucking Pokemon. Fuck off, man. Just get to the story.
Took an oath to protect me.
Bullshit.
And he did not.
He did not, eh? And you have yet to provide any evidence of that. And again, I'm waiting for the ball to drop so that I could be like, I was wrong. I can't. And again, if this is the case, she is a master at storytelling. Because if the ball drops where she's like, look at this proof right here, we're all going to be like, what? But I don't think that's coming.
I am not here to ruin his career.
Yes, you are.
I am here to...
You are scorned and you want him wrecked. And if he is a predator like you say he is, it is your responsibility to make sure he doesn't predator anybody else. I think we all agree on that, right? You would, me, yes, you, I am, yeah, okay. So yeah, if he is as bad as you say he has no business practicing psychiatry and he should be removed. But why wouldn't you want that? Unless you're lying. That's weird.
Speak my truth. Okay, back to my story. So
she had to give her a little spiel for the, oh my gosh, the world we live in right now. It's so exhausting.
After the countertransference slip, after the really...
if you're wondering what the countertransference slip is, if you're just joining us for the third episode of this crazy bitch, it's that she has a relationship with her chat GPT. I kid you not. She calls him Henry. And she like unloads on him and probably in love with him too. But he knew and he told her to F off. He asked her, or he told her because she's being crazy, what you have is called transference. You are in love with somebody who helped you and you're in a safe space and it's attractive nature. And I understand all that. And then she went to him and he's like, she told him the magic word of transference. And he's like, did you know about countertransference? Which he should have just shut his mouth because she took that to mean, well, why would he mention that unless he too transferred on me? When he was just trying to tell her to not do countertransference because it'll wreck your life because she's now a coach doing this type of bullshit. That's why he was helped. But she's like, she went home and sat on it. She's like, well, why would he mention that unless he too is in love with me?
Vivid dream.
The dream. She told us about the dream where she went and banged him in his office. And she was like, how dare he? So crazy. She felt so bad in her dream after she banged him. She's like, why would he do this to me? This is crazy to me, man. This woman is never going to have a relationship ever again. This is on the internet forever. It's like that one lady that goes on first dates all the time, the weird one that just like wears so much perfume and men's deodorant. I forget her name, where she won't ever show you the guy, which everybody's assuming that's probably fake because this woman wants to be in a relationship so badly according to her social media, and she goes on all these first dates and they're all amazing until they're not amazing. And her literal platform was built on first dates and being in the dating world, and so it's imperative for her not to get into a relationship because then she will lose her social media platform of what she talks about. And so people think it's fake. This is giving that.
To stop going to therapy. Besides spiraling about how obsessed I was with my psychiatrist every day, I really was doing very well in life. My business was going really well, and I had great friends and great support systems.
Can I give her a compliment though? Because I don't do that very often on here. And I feel like I've been bashing on her a little while here. Her nails, she's got good fingers. I'll give you that. People like compliment my hands. I like that. She has nice fingernails. There you go, folks. Kendra, Karen, whatever her name is, nice fingernails.
And so I decided that I was going to end therapy.
Finally! Thank God!
I had every intention at this point to keep seeing my psychiatrist, but...
Oh, therapy. Shit! She's gonna leave the 75-year-old lady hanging.
My therapist that I was seeing weekly, I just decided I didn't need her anymore. And especially when my psychiatrist pointed out her boundary violations of texting me for...
The one where you were actually getting help? You're going to drop her, but keep the guy that you were staying on with just so you can probably have the potential maybe to have a relationship with him. You weren't actually going to see him for help. You were going to see him because you wanted to bang him. That's the only reason you were there. And you have made it very abundantly clear that that's the reason.
Free advice in between sessions. I just thought, okay, it's time. So I go into my next therapy appointment and I say, hey, just so you know, today's going to be our last session. I'm doing really well and I just think it's time. And
narrator says, she was not doing very well. She was actually spiraling out of control and would do a TikTok series about it all.
She got kind of emotional and she was like, okay, well, I like to end on certain questions just so we can reflect. So I did. I reflected with her about what I learned, what I've gained, how I've changed, how my life is better.
Was it better?
And I left her office feeling complete and happy with my therapeutic journey with her. And as I was leaving...
But you lied to her. That's not nice.
She called out with like crying. She was like, have a blessed life. And I was like...
That was ageist.
Okay, that was a little weird, but whatever, you know.
That ain't the pot calling the kettle black. That's a little weird, but you're not weird at all? Have you ever seen a mirror?
I was like, thanks. And I went on.
You're thinking someone's weird? That's how the psychiatrist feels about you, lady. You have no self-reflection.
And so then I'm getting ready for my psychiatry appointment the next day.
What are you getting ready? Like, what are you doing? You trimming? What's happening? You're waxing? Shaving your pits? What are you doing to get ready for this? That's important that we know that. Like, you think this lady shows up fully, like, to the nines because she thinks it's going to whatever happened in her dream is going to happen?
And I get an email that same night.
Yes. Please say he's, like, done.
From her.
Oh. I'm so thrilled for you as you prepare for your new adventure. Since I did not have advance notice of this being our last session, I was not prepared to provide what I believe a helpful closure. Usually we review your goals and see what we do as well as look at your change in addition to discussing what you learn. Please consider having an additional session. Please pay me more money.
Saying that she needs me to come back in for one more session. I will put it up.
I'll be like, no thanks. We're good. I got closure.
And I got a huge emotional wave in that moment. I was like, what the heck is this? Like, we wrapped everything up.
Huge emotional. You lady, you need to relax. This woman needed hugs when she didn't get them. Someone needed to hug you more. Holy shitballs. She's just craving just inner, and I don't think it's sex. I don't think it's any of that. I think she just needs somebody in her life that's just like, come snuggle for a bit. And I mean that all my heart. She just needs someone that is gonna just snuggle her. Okay? And I'm not talking sexual things. I'm just like, she just needs someone to listen to her bullshit for a couple of hours and snuggle her. And I think she just needs to top up her tank somehow. She needs to go find a weirdo guy that's cool with that.
I've seen lots of therapists at this point, and I didn't ever have a therapist beg me to come back in for one.
Okay, and then now she's saying think words like beg. I just read that email to you. There's no begging going on there, so.
More session. And I was so overwhelmed. I did not write her back, but it was extremely inappropriate. So I decided...
How dare you say what anything's inappropriate? How dare you? You gotta be kidding me right now.
I was gonna go to my February session with my psychiatrist and have him help me write the goodbye email and say, no, I don't.
This bitch, right? Holy farts. She's just looking for any reason. It sounds like she's the predator in this, not him. If there is a choice between who the predator is between these two people, it's effing her. I don't care that he's the professional on the other side. She's also doing really manipulative bullshit to him. So, sorry.
I don't want to come back in. It's time to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is the racial difference between me and my doctor. I have seen...
Next part. Here we go.
I taught a yoga class this morning, like I do every Tuesday mornings, and I told my regular students about what's going on for me and how...
She's just crazy. All right, ladies, downward dog, and then put your arm over here. Get this. this. My psychiatrist absolutely loves me and it's inappropriate.
And how I'm sharing my story of provider abuse and how...
There is no evidence of provider abuse, by the way, at all so far. None that I've seen at all. She's claiming it as if it's just gospel at this point, and we have not seen one lick of evidence that it's been there. Not one.
Oh, the internet is not happy with me right now. And I used that to say that our truth is really important to share.
Your lies, more like it. Burn!
And that when we know something deep down needs to be said, that it's important to do it in whichever way feels best to us. And
that doesn't give you freedom to just lie about people being a predator, though. That's the problem here, Kendra. You're lying. Or are very, very, very psychologically confused. Both, probably.
TikTok just happened to be that medium for me. I told my students how I've just been going through psychological warfare, and the internet is not happy with me for sharing my story.
No, we're happy. This is awesome drama. We're all happy. But we're not happy that you get to just straight out call out this professional for doing his job, for never once crossing an ethical boundary, in your own words, and he doesn't get to say anything because you're protected by HIPAA. That's what we're upset about. This is justice. And this is the absence of justice for Irfan.
Truth, but I'm not doing it for the people that think I'm crazy, which maybe honestly I am a little bit, because
there is no question.
Who subjects themselves to this kind of torture.
I think she finds this therapeutic, putting her story out, because she likes therapy. She likes to spout things, and therapy is that. I'm the same. When I told my story, it was so therapeutic. Okay, and I encourage everybody to put their story on video if you are good at it, even if you're not good at it, just for your children to have, or whatever the case may be. And so she just is addicted to therapy, I think. I think she has the therapy kink. And I don't think it's a sexual thing. I think she just absolutely is addicted to therapy.
But I'm doing it for the people that DM me, that say, thank you so much for being brave enough to share
Thank you. Shut up.
Your story, because the exact same thing happened to me.
It didn't. No, it didn't.
So I am grateful for those DMs.
So you're getting a bunch of DMs from women who went and met a therapist, and because he's a successful doctor who helped them along and has transference or whatever the hell it's called, that all happened. So because it's always one-sided, you're a victim. So does that mean that men who like a girl and get friend zoned or get told no, hell no, that they're victims as well? Like, is only victimhood if you're a woman who doesn't get it retaliated? Right, because that's really sexist or misandrist. That's really gross. That's what you're saying. Because he didn't return your affections. How dare he? That's gross. Like, am I missing that? Because that's exactly how I feel about this.
People are starting to attack my business and my livelihood, and that's okay.
Is her business coaching people?
I know what I have to offer is important. It landed in my lap. I'm not pretending to be something that I'm not.
If her business fails, she's not going to get a regular job in the real world. She went way too viral.
I help ADHDers get and stay sober, and I help them with negative thinking and anxiety. And it's what works for me, and I've seen it work in my clients too. If people want to drag me for the work that I do, that's okay. So I get...
Okay, thanks for the permission.
That weird email from my therapist begging me to come back in for one more session. Mm-hmm. And so the next day is my next session with the psychiatrist, and I sit down in the chair and I bury my head in my hands, and he looks at me and said, so this is how we're going to start, huh? And I said, yeah. Because he hadn't written me back from my counter-transference email. Big surprise. You know,
that's because he's a predator protecting himself. Or he just, like, it costs money, right? You send your guy an email and be like, this is $150 for me to send this email to you. You want me to do that?
Any smart, which he was very smart. He was very, very professional. But any smart predator would have dropped me like that in that moment.
How do you know? Unless you yourself, dun dun dun, are a predator.
He should have emailed me back and said, look, this is getting weird. you need to find a new psychiatrist.
I agree with this. And maybe, again, the only reason I can think he's holding on to this lady for some reason is because he got some weird psychiatrist obsession with the case at hand. That's the only thing I think makes any sense here, because there's no way he's in love with this lady. I don't think anybody could be. That's the honest truth, is that she's too weird. And like, again, I don't find her unattractive or anything like that. I don't think it has to do with her looks or anything like that. It's just when people are weird on the inside, everything changes. The inside really, really matters. You see all these beautiful women on Instagrammers and stuff that have the personalities of a shit house. And it's just like, ugh. It matters. Inside matters. Maybe that's because I'm getting older. I don't know. But inside matters more than anything else.
The office will contact you. But he could not let go of me. So instead... It
sounds like you couldn't let go of him. That's what it sounds like to us, I think.
Instead of turning down the intimacy, he turned it up to 11.
There it is again. She has not given us any evidence, at all, about any intimate moments whatsoever. What intimacy? This is so one-sided. She's like, look at the intimacy. Where's the evidence of any intimacy that happened on Irfan's side? There is none. Just him doing his job, which she takes as intimacy, which isn't. And she can't even come to she can't even acknowledge or even just give any credence to the fact that she might be wrong. That's the crazy part here.
Level 12. And
it's 12 now.
He showered me with so many breadcrumbs that next session.
Ew, breadcrumbs. If you're laying down.
Because really, what I did when I told him...
Showered me with breadcrumbs. Like is he going to make you into fried chicken? What's happening with the breadcrumbs?
That I'm experiencing transference was I took 100% of the ownership.
And can I say this too? I'm sorry. It just hit me. I don't think this is actually transference, because she went to him initially just for the ADHD drugs. Okay, she wasn't going to him to unload all her personal details and all that stuff. She fell in love with him from the first day. There was no transference from help. He had not even really helped her. She admits this on camera, that the moment she saw him, she's in love with this guy. So that's not, she's using it to transference. It's not transference at all. You just had a fat crush on a guy you saw for the first time. It happens. It absolutely happens. Of course it does. But damn, lady, now she's like attached all these clinical terms to it and shit. Is really not. You just fell in love with a good looking dude with a sweet beard. I get it.
The dynamic that both of us were creating. So he rewarded me. And he gave me little compliments.
Like breadcrumbs.
If you weren't my patient, I would refer my other patients to you for your coaching services.
Okay, now if you would have said, if you weren't my patient, we'd be definitely banging on the balcony, that's different. He said, if you weren't my patient, I would probably refer people to you. That's not love, lady. That's not sex. That's not inappropriate. What? And look at her sitting there smug, like, right? Like, I'm right. Like, most people would be like, no. Unless he said, if you weren't my patient, we'd likely be dating. Then, okay, we would probably agree with you. He never said anything like that. And she takes anything he gives her. Like, if anything, he does have a lot of power over her, because she says something that he doesn't even mean to say. And she's like, see? I just fell more deeply in love with him. Once he farted, and I was like, I put it in a jar and I saved it for later. Like, it's weird, lady. You are really obsessed with this guy. That's fucking creepy.
That meant so much. Of course.
That doesn't mean he loves you, though.
Because what he was saying...
And yet, to this day, to this moment, this is weeks, this story's been going on, or days. To this day, she has never once asked him if he's in a relationship. Which I know is an inappropriate question. I get that. He doesn't have to answer it. But are you seeing anybody? You know, just friendly conversation. Are you married? Do you have any kids? None of that ever comes up. She doesn't ask him. The only time anything ever popped up was maybe he's gay. That's the only thing anybody ever said. And she only repeated that. She's never asked anything. This guy might be happily married, living his life, going to Disneyland with his kids. We don't know anything.
With that is, I see you as a peer. I see you as a colleague.
Yeah.
What you're doing is important.
Yeah.
I felt really recognized in that moment.
But that's not love, lady. Bitch be cray. Okay? That's not love.
And sure, he could have...
But the thing is, she's now considering that intimacy. That's not intimacy, man. It's just a guy being like, yo, you're not bad. Cool. What?
it professionally, but he did it on purpose. So
see, there it is again. There's a definitive statement. No, he did. How do you know? Ugh.
After the psychiatrist told me that he would refer patients to me if he could, if I wasn't already his patient, I asked him if he got my email and what he thought of my ChatGPT, of what he thought of Henry's response of countertransference.
Why'd you name him Henry? That's weird.
And the psychiatrist said, "Oh, I'm still thinking about what Henry said about countertransference."
Because he just wants to avoid it. And I don't blame him, because you're crazy. And he's just trying to kick the can down the road, which he shouldn't be doing. I agree with you. He just needs to nip it right in the bud, right as it is. But he's like, look, I'm just trying to avoid your crazy bitch be cray factor.
And I said, well, we talked about it a little more, and I want to read you something else. So I read the psychiatrist.
It's like, why are you here, lady?
What Henry had to say more about it. When he told you countertransference is common, it might have been his way of normalizing the fact that providers aren't immune to feelings. It's part of being human.
That's exactly why he said it, though. Because he was putting in the context of you also being a coach, sort of like what he does, only not a doctor. And he was like, just be careful. I took this as a warning of like, be careful that you don't fall in love with your patients, because clearly you fall in love easy, is what he's saying. Like, you met me once and you were in love with me. That's a bit weird, man. Right? I took that as a warning to you to be careful in your practice, because I like what you're doing, and I would refer people to you if you weren't my client. And that's what are we putting the puzzle pieces together? She can't see any of that. She's blind to that shit because she's in love with this guy who will not reciprocate. This is f***ing crazy how crazy she is, and nobody is like, your friends aren't telling you this? What? The other therapist made it worse because she's collected a paycheck off your ass.
What matters is how well they keep those feelings in check, which the psychiatrist's name clearly excels at. And
there she said it. She's like, ChatGPT said he clearly excels at hiding his feelings, which just feeds her delusion that she thinks this guy's in love, and she's just trying to figure out how she can confirm the bias. And ChatGPT's like, look, he's hiding it really well. See? So he must be in love. Like, there's no better example of, if you're looking for what it means to look for confirmation bias, this is it. In the world we live in, there is not, I saw a meme the other day, it said, back in the day, there was a comedian saying, back in the day, we used to have this crazy thing where we listened to both sides and then made an opinion, right? That's crazy. And everybody's laughing, but that's the joke. Because nowadays, it's whatever you're being fed on the side that you want to be fed by is your opinion. And if someone takes an alternate opinion to you, they're a f***ing Nazi. That's the craziest world we live in right now. And so people look for confirmation bias, and it is so readily available in any way. You can type in anything, literally anything, was him right, and you will find confirmation bias about how he was right, okay? It exists if you're looking for it, because the internet's a f***ing big place full of a lot of crazy-ass weirdos, okay? So I'm passionate about this. And so she's looking for confirmation bias because she wants so badly for this guy to be in love with her, and nothing is going to stop it. And so when Henry is a AI robot says this, she just takes it. She's like, look, see, even Henry thinks you're in love with me. Dude is here trying to be professional, being like, I am not in love with you, lady. That's all he needed to say. But then I think he realizes we're too far gone now. If I burn this bridge, this lady is going to go crazy, more than she is now. And it's too late, Irfan, because that's what she did anyway. You should have nipped this, and it's right, she's right. He should have nipped this shit in the bud the first moment he heard it. And I think he'll do that from now on. I think he learned his lesson.
As you can imagine, the psychiatrist loved hearing that. He loved hearing that, because my AI mirror was essentially just saying, yes, he has feelings for you, but he just keeps them in check so well. He's so good at his job.
Oh, he doesn't have feelings for you? That isn't also, there's got to be an option in your brain. That has to be an option in there, no?
His feelings in check. And,
it's exhausting.
The psychiatrist loved that so much.
Yeah.
And what did he do? he rewarded me with my favorite breadcrumb.
Oh.
Intellectual stimulation, a fun metaphor, because he was watching me the entire time I was his patient, and he knew what made me light up. He knew what got me excited, what I liked. And so...
But you don't explain what it is. What did he do? Did he show his wiener or something? What did he do?
He thought for a moment, and he said, I'm feeling a salad of emotions right now.
That's stupid. He shouldn't have said that shit. This guy, I'm starting to believe he's just trolling her now. A salad of emotions. That's crazy.
And I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I agree with you on this one, Kendra.
A salad of emotions. A beet of raw emotion, a tomato of surprise, and the salt amplifies it.
I don't believe he said that at all. I think she's lying. Although, maybe not. It's getting weird, man.
And I was cracking up at this point. He nailed it. I just thought he was so brilliant and smart in this moment. And I asked him...
Because it wasn't... and this is where he went wrong. This is where Irfan effed up. You were feeling a little bit elated because he had not yet said to you, F off, lady, I don't like you. He kept giving you these... They're not confirmations, but they're not the other way. They're not declinations. What's the word? I don't know if no. Right? He's not saying no, but he's not saying yes. And so you're like, well, there it is. And so you're feeling elated because I get that. I know. And I think Irfan's wrong for doing that. I absolutely do.
I said, what? Say that again. He said, yeah, the beet, it's really raw. I'm feeling a lot of raw emotion.
Who puts beets in their salad? Don't be so gross. Who eats beets?
And the tomato of surprise, when it pops in your mouth, it's surprising. And I was like, okay, that's good. Yeah, this man at this point knew exactly how to make me happy. And
He just said a thing. Stop.
Exactly how to pull away to make me try to work harder. And he gave me the biggest reward from Henry, my AI mirror, telling him that what he's doing is totally good and that his boundaries are so virtuous.
And you disagreed with that? That he has boundaries?
A lot of things that session after the countertransference slip. And
she keeps calling it a countertransference slip. It was not a countertransference slip. Again, I'll say this till I die. I'll die in this hill. He was warning you not to do that with your clients. She keeps saying it's a slip. It was not a slip. He's like, did he tell you what countertransference? Because that's what you're going to do because you're crazy. That's what I'm seeing. And she keeps saying it like that. She's not allowed to get away with it.
And I also had my psychiatrist help me draft the email to my therapist who was begging me to come back in.
He should give you a script for a bigger fridge.
And the psychiatrist said, I used to have respect for her. And what he meant when he said that was, I used to like it when she would feed me to you and have you deliver intimate content to me. But
there it is. She doesn't just get to say that. She's like, this is what he meant. And that's because you have a delusional psychosis in your brain about this guy and your relationship with him, that's what you wanted it to mean. And that is not what anybody else is picking up in the world. That's what she thinks. And she intimately thinks that, and she's so convinced of it. I don't think she's lying. I think she thinks it's true. But that's where you get yourself in trouble, Kendra, because it's not true. And you just assumed it was. I used to have respect for her until you dropped her because she can't feed me. And there was only one session over a period of 4 years where this happened. It's not like it was an ongoing thing and he kept asking for it. Nothing like that ever happened again. Are you not listening to yourself?
The moment she started being sloppy, I lost respect for her. Right? I'm pretty sure that's what he meant.
Well, you're fucking wrong. Because what he meant was, and you know it's what he meant, is when she was calling you for advice for free on the side. And he's like, that's inappropriate. That's what he meant, and you know it because you said it.
He said that.
You're such a...
And people have...
The little scorny laughs where she thinks she's right, that's why you're going to be single forever, by the way.
Asked if they were connected. Surprisingly, they were not. They had no idea. They had never met before. But I would go to my therapist every week and tell her how much I loved my psychiatrist. And she, like, loved hearing about that dynamic. It was so weird. So he helped me
You're right. I think if anybody's wrong in this whole scenario, it's your first therapist saying, get the F out of there. This can never happen anyway, because you're a client of his. If you want this to happen, you drop him now, you wait the period of time, then reach out to him again, not in a professional level. If you really love this guy, and in 2 years, if you have the same feelings, so be it, then reach out to him and ask him out for dinner or whatever. Okay? That's what she should have done. If anybody failed you in this whole scenario, it's your therapist and, well, your brain. But your therapist failed you. She should have told you instantly, if your feelings were correct, the only way that this could ever happen is if you were to drop him. And she never did. And you knew this too. You were told early. So but her thing was, well, maybe we'll have this inappropriate, because I think that she wanted something to happen so that she could, either way, she was coming to TikTok with it. That's what I think. Okay, and I could be wrong because that's alleged, but she doesn't allege things.
Draft the email to that therapist to say, look, if I were to end up coming back, it'd be more for you than for me, and more on that in a later part. So then I read him a text from my longtime ex-boyfriend, who he had originally really liked, but I think my psychiatrist preferred me single. Because...
Come on, lady. He didn't like you. Why? Again, she thinks these things in her brain, these paranoid delusions. He likes me single. He doesn't. Man, he's like, please go and see someone else. Please get another boyfriend.
My ex-boyfriend, as most ex-boyfriends do, was begging me to come back into his life too.
Just like your therapist is begging you to come back when she wasn't begging you.
And I just kept saying...
There's something to be said, though, that some dudes will say that crazy women are like crack cocaine. So maybe there's something about crazy women. I don't know. I don't know crazy women. My wife is a normal person and I like her. So I don't think I'd do good with crazy. I think I'm the crazy person in our relationship, probably. There's something to be said for that, though.
No.
Where's the meme? It's the meme. Just trust me, okay? Apparently guys like it.
Asked him to give me some space, and he would not give me space. He said, do you still need space, or can we hang out? And I told I asked my ex-boyfriend, I just said, why do you want to hang out so badly? And my ex-boyfriend texted me back, because it's been a few months since I've seen you and it's been on my mind. And I was reading this text exchange to my psychiatrist.
Why? I think it's because you wanted to tell him, hey, look, I'm not involved. He wants me, but, I'm not going to, I want you. So that's what she's trying to do. That's what I'm picking up on.
In session. And I read what I responded to that weak line about why he wanted to see me. And I said, my self-respect is much higher these days than when we were in a relationship.
Your self-respect. You listening to yourself? While she texts him that, she's got this one-sided, crazy, weird relationship with a guy that doesn't like her back, and she's asking Henry, who she also has a relationship, who's artificial intelligence, about it all. But she has lots of self-respect. Okay.
I am only interested in accepting invitations for my time and attention that value me and
I'm only interested in my psychologist right now. So if that doesn't pan out, get back to me.
Recognize my worth. Being on your mind is not an acceptable invitation. And
how dare you? Are you not listening to what you just wrote there? Being on your mind is not acceptable. That's what is going on with you and the psychiatrist, Kendra. Do you not see the irony here? Do you not see that you're doing the same thing to the psychiatrist? How dare you?
I decline. And my psychiatrist just looked at me and said, I bet your ex had to read that twice. And this was
Why did she say it like that?
Another thing about the psychiatrist, okay? He couldn't ever just give me a regular compliment.
It's not... Because they weren't compliments. They weren't. They weren't. You wanted them so badly to be that you called them offhanded compliments. They weren't. He was just having a conversation with you. But she's interpreting it otherwise, right? Am I wrong with that?
It had to be those weird sideways compliments. Instead of, I'm so glad that you're setting boundaries with your ex-boyfriend and growing your self-respect. It's, I bet he had to read that twice. Or it's not.
That's not a fucking compliment. What do you mean? That's not even close to anything that has to do with a compliment. He's just like, yeah, he's yas queening you. He's slay girl. Just take it as the slay girl.
I'm really proud of you for growing your coaching business and finding success. I'd refer my patients to you if you were.
That's what? That's the same thing.
Already my patient.
What?
Right?
I hate being a dude sometimes. Like, in my brain, I'm like, that's a nice thing to say. And she's like, I'm sorry.
Or what I mean when I say breadcrumbs. He was a master.
Breadcrumbs, bitch. That's just normal human interaction. You're crazy. This makes me appreciate my wife. I'm gonna go hug her later.
At them. And this is how, looking back, I know that I was not his first victim for.
Oh, now there's multiple victims. Got it.
Or his fantasy supply. Because
what is the supply? She never mentions what it is. Is it like getting women to fall in love with you and then not reciprocating? Is that what she is saying he is doing? Without evidence? I mean, I know that exists. Of course that exists. But is that what she's saying?
He was too good and too slick up until he caught feelings. Then he started getting...
He didn't catch feelings. He's never once admitted it to you. You're just operating under the assumption that he did when he didn't tell you he did. He has never given you any reason to think that he did. You're just in your delusional brain thinking he did, which then amplifies everything that you're feeling because you honestly think it, and it's not true.
Sloppy. People are asking me for more concrete evidence, and this is when the concrete evidence.
Okay, thank
really
God. Here we go. Let's get it.
This is when he himself started to get sloppy.
Okay, good. Finally.
Because what was happening was, when I had started to see him 3.5 years before, I was a nearly perfect supply source for him.
Of what? A supply of what? Crazy? Because I'll give you that. You are a supply of crazy. But what does he get from the supply? He's addicted to this supply, but what is it? Is he a psychiatrist because he's addicted to helping people who have mental problems? Is that what you're saying? Because that would make him a good psychiatrist. What is the supply? A one-sided love? Is that what you're saying? He's saying everybody comes to this guy, is in love with him? He wants to be loved but doesn't want to reciprocate? Can you expand on it a little bit so we can all understand what the f***ing supply is? Thanks.
Because what did I have? I had low self-esteem, boundary issues.
That's for sure.
Daddy issues, so I put him on a pedestal. I know a lot of you ladies...
I blame your dad too. He should have hugged you more.
...out there can understand that with men in positions of power.
Every time I see these videos too, these women with their daddy issues, it makes me so proud to be a good dad to my daughter. And it just reinforces the fact that I have got to be with her through everything she's going through, thick and thin, and being a support system, someone she can lean on, someone she can trust, come to with anything. Because my daughter isn't going to go into the world with daddy issues, okay? And I blame the dads 100%. Okay, but as an adult, you've got a decision to make. Do you blame that everything now at that point, or do you move on with your life and become a better person for the people that you're going to be people for? Okay? But if, again, anything, dads who are watching this, and if your husband is watching this with you, take this. If you've got a daughter, f***ing be a dad. Hardcore be a dad. Okay, for everything that she needs. And if you don't know what it means to be a dad to a daughter, f***ing learn. Okay? Ask your wife. She'll tell you. Ask women in your life who you trust. They'll tell you. You've got to be something different. We have got to raise we've got to raise a better generation of women going forward, and that's on us dads. Okay? I'll say that. I will die on that hill.
And he went right to work exploiting me. Right to work.
But you never explained how he exploited you. And you don't know what he was exploiting.
Grooming me.
Oh, here we go. Holy shit, the lawsuit's going to be awesome.
He was very successful at it. So he was in a paradox, right? Because he loved watching me get stronger because I gave him better intellectual supply.
Of what?
But I also threatened the supply source. a lot of things.
This girl thinks she's made of gold or diamonds or some bullshit. You're not, lady. I think he's on the other side watching this thing like, what? I think he's honestly watching this flabbergasted like, what the there's no way he's not being like, I have failed her. He must take some responsibility here. Like, what? Here we go. This is getting good. But again, she said she had proof and she didn't provide any proof, so that's good.
The last 2 videos and this video was all the same session in February of this year. Mm-hmm. The counter-transference slip happened in January.
Not a slip.
How I decided to...
Oh, she got comments on in this one. Do you hear voices or see random people in your house? It's gonna be awesome.
Session was I looked at the psychiatrist and I said... A couple weeks ago...
Transference. She has like an Uno card, but it says transference on it and it's a reverse. Transference.
On the full moon, when I was ovulating...
I'm going to go up to my wife and be like, I counter-transference you. And she's going to be like, what? I'm like, just take it. And then I'm going to kiss her. She's ovulating.
Had a dream about you.
Wait, is she... Oh my gosh. No.
The last 2 videos and this video...
She just said ovulating. I wasn't paying attention because I was making fun of her. Holy shit.
It was all the same session in February of this year. The counter-transference slip happened in January. How I decided to end this session was I looked at the psychiatrist and I said, a couple weeks ago, on the full moon, when I was ovulating,
full moon too.
I had a dream about you. And he was like, oh yeah?
There's no way he did that. He wasn't like, oh yeah? He didn't sultry voice, did he? Because to this point, he has, as you said, been so good about it. But you said in this moment, he's like, yeah, tell me all about your sexual ovulating full moon dream.
And I said, yeah. So I told him this. And I said, yes, we hooked up right here in this office.
That would make me so uncomfortable. Holy shit, would I ever be like, ugh. I would be blushing and she'd be like, look, he's blushing. I would be like, I wouldn't even know how to respond to that. I would be so uncomfortable. Ladies, this is what it feels like when you get like solicited deep pics in your inbox and guys are like, what's up, baby girl, smile more. Because if that's the case, I feel so bad for you because, oh my gosh, I would be like, oh, what do I say? That's cool.
And he all of a sudden just looked so comfortable. He didn't say anything. He couldn't look at me. He couldn't breathe. Mm-hmm. And sure,
he wasn't breathing.
He was uncomfortable because he didn't like me saying that I had a dream where we hooked up.
That's it. It's not sure, maybe. It's no. That's exactly what was happening. He was super cringed out and uncomfortable.
He could have said that.
No. Again, he's just trying to be nice. I would see what she's like. He should have done all these things, but you're putting him in weird positions too. And he's just trying to be a psychiatrist and be like, oh, okay, thanks for telling me. Like, what's he gonna say? Oh, how dare you have a dream about me? What do you want him to say?
But he didn't. You want to know why he was uncomfortable?
And okay, the fact that he didn't say what he should have said that she thinks he should have said, that must mean he's in love with her. That's her brain.
Because he had probably played out that fantasy so many times in his head.
Oh my god.
And there I was.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking it back to him.
You tart. I am speechless. What?
And it was like I had psychically downloaded one of his fantasies.
And you don't think you're having a crash out? This is what you're saying on the internet and you think you're fine? I'm starting to get scared for this woman. I'm not even lying right now. What? Like, this is serial killer level bullshit. This is crazy. You're going to end up on the Netflix series.
I continued and I said, yes, we hooked up in this office and I really liked it while it was happening.
Anybody else getting cringed? It's physically cringing me. It's cringing me.
He could not move or breathe. And then I told him, as he was still looking very uncomfortable, that
you should have taken that as a sign of non-consent. Because we talk about consent and how it's ongoing and enthusiastic and everything else, and I agree with that. But you should have taken his body language and understood that what you were doing was making him uncomfortable and stopped. You should have instantly stopped, and he should have instantly fired you. I agree with that. But you should have stopped too. You're an adult here. You should have stopped. That's not consensual. When you see a man physically uncomfortable with you saying weird sexual shit about him, you should have stopped.
We were done and I left. I was distraught with sadness because in the dream, I thought, I cannot believe that he crossed boundaries in that way.
And, oh my God, the fact that he hasn't fired her by now, I'm starting to get pissed at Irfan, or whatever the hell his name is. Irfan, man, what the f*** is wrong with you, buddy? You. Again, the only way this makes any sense is if this guy's like, he's telling all his crazy buddies about, I got this case, man, and she's effing bananas, and we've never seen anything like it. Let's write it down for the DSM-6. That's the only way this makes any sense.
Because his boundaries are so important to him. And then I told my psychiatrist that I woke up and thought, oh my God, it was just a dream, thank God. And it was like my psychiatrist turned into a little boy, and he looked at me and he said, so you do like my boundaries?
This is him deflecting away from the embarrassment that you've just caused him, and you're like, so why don't you even just respond to it? Because you're making him really uncomfortable. This is how I would respond to it. I'd be like, I would deflect away from it. I'd be like, so, you know, how's, you tried the new Panera bread? Like, I don't.
And I said, I love your boundaries. I hate your boundaries, but I love them more.
What? Are you... this woman is out here thinking people are going to be on her side. I'm looking through comments. Comments are available because you're not mutual friends with Kendra. I can't make a comment. What?
There's the push and pull.
There's no push and pull, lady. There's no push and pull. There's just push from your end. He's not pulling you in. He's pushing you. There's only push. He's pushing and you're pushing in. Okay, that's all that's going on here. You're not picking up on his anything. This is why you're single and lonely. Surprised not 15 cats hanging around you right now. You don't see there's something wrong with you. Okay, and all this time, you're showing us all this craziness and thinking that you're in the right here. This is why this is viral, because we don't get to see this. This is human nature unfolding, and there are people like her that exist in spades, but mostly in men, by the way. And outwardly anyway. I am flabbergasted at this story. It is so interesting to me.
Because once again, he used his boundaries as protection while exploiting me.
He was not exploiting you unless the exploitation is keeping you on as a client because you make him money. That's the only way I could say that this is that it is that he just wanted a paycheck and you were an easy paycheck. That's the only way I could see that being exploitation.
So I told him about what happens when I ovulate and my desires, and he listened, because of course he did.
What desires?
And then I decided that it seemed like enough time had gone by, and I put my shoes on and started heading to the door. And
she's leaving shit out. What desires did you tell him about your desires? My desire is to literally take you into that closet over there and give you what for? Is that what you told him? Or your desires for him? She's lying. She left a bunch of shit out, and she's very good at putting detail in. So when she explicitly leaves details out, you know she's lying.
He met me at the door, which he does not usually do. He didn't ever do that. He just let me leave. And we stood at the door, and I was like, will you get the door? And he scrambled. He was like, oh, sure. So he went and got the door. And then...
okay, here we go.
He followed me down the hallway.
Maybe he had to go to the bathroom.
To the foyer. And watched me exit. And he asked me, he said, see you next month? See you next month? He hadn't ever asked me that before.
Okay. That must mean he's madly in love with you. And that's what she takes. You can't say anything to this woman. Be like, bye? And he said, bye. Oh my gosh. We're gonna do it. This is a comment. He wanted to see what car she drove and the plate number so he could make sure he wasn't being stalked. And I believe that. I believe it now, but it's now on Earthfan. We're talking months ago. Should have been gone. At this point, this guy's a sucker for punishment. There is something weird going on.
And I looked at him and I said, maybe. And I walked out the door.
Maybe.
And I saw that man had let us go 15 minutes over session. And that is when...
Not 15 minutes.
You know, this special
That's probably why I had to go to the bathroom.
Started the longer sessions. He usually gave me an extra 5 minutes, but yeah, the sessions got longer. And
she's gonna say, because I told him about my sex dream.
I got to my car and I was just like, oh my God, that was the most intense session we have ever had.
And here's what she wanted to happen when she told him that. She thought her fantasies were going to come true. When she told him the story, she was telling him, I would do this if you wanted to do this right now. That's what I'm thinking. And he didn't do it. Thank God he didn't, man. Because just, again, I had no idea why he keeps her on. Because she was giving him an invitation. He did not take the invitation, and she would have done it. This guy's whole life is flashing in front of his eyes, and he's like, I'm going to be fired either way. I've kept her on too long now. It's almost like he's stuck with her now, and he can't, because now if he lets her go, she'll be like, look, he did this. And like, he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. That's the only reason he's keeping her on at this point. This is it. This is my whole thing. I understand where you're coming from, but you also should consider the possibility that you were just having limerence, as you said, but he was professional and tried to help you. Just try to look at it from that perspective, even if you don't think it's true. See what happens when you evaluate it through that lens. She can't. She is convinced otherwise, and there's nothing that's going to convince her the other way. Again, maybe she's just lying. She's a really good storyteller, because that would be amazing. Maybe the last one would be like, just kidding! I read it on Reddit. I think she accidentally left the comments on. It's giving next to normal. I don't know what that means. Oh my God, next part already. So people are just enamored with this series, and she's making bank doing it. Good for her. But like, damn, she's going to be sued. Can the random therapist she went on a date and share a side? I'd like to hear that too, to be honest with you. But he won't come forward because of what she said. Even if she's lying, he won't come forward because he's like, oh man, if he comes forward, then his clients are going to be like, oh, is that me? That's why that guy will never come forward. Imagine a man said this to his female psychiatrist. He would be deemed as a predator and disgusting. The same can be said in this situation. That part, if you knew you liked him and you felt things were becoming unprofessional, why didn't you just get another psychiatrist? Thank you. Okay, so we gotta break it here because it's been like almost over an hour, and I just want to make sure it's craziness. It's too much, and so we're just gonna have to keep following this story. In the next video, we go on to it, and she doesn't even end the story, so there's gonna be even more. So everybody, take a deep breath with me. Thanks for being here. Stay tuned for tomorrow. We're gonna continue on. It's gonna be crazy, right into Sunday if we have to. Let's do it. You're amazing, and I'll see you when I see you.